In this video, we're gonna work on one of our pages together. So we're building a new template. This is going to be a showcase template. It's going to allow you to basically build a page out on your website that you can use to market either coming soon, just listed, or even sold properties. So I'm going to share the screen. I'm building the template, and once I build the template, then we're going to do some really cool things. Probably be in a different video, but we'll do some cool things to make it really, really easy for our users, GGMS IDX website users, to be able to build these in like 5 minutes, just be able to spin one up really quick. And then again, you can use it in marketing. It can be indexed on your website so that you can get traffic for sold listings, coming soons, just listed, any of those sort of things. So really cool stuff. I'll share my screen. We'll get started. I'll probably spend, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. We'll see where this takes us. And let me get going here. All right, let me refresh this. Let me make sure that I have everything set up correctly on my end. And then go ahead and I'm going to go live into another group as well. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the button on that. We'll get that going. All right, cool. So again, what we're going to work on today, we're going to build a page, a showcase template page on our website. All right, sweet. I got this pulled up now. This is a listing showcase page. So this is what I've been working on. If you got anything, you can drop it in the chat and we can talk about it. If you have any questions or anything, but this is what I've been building. Basically, it's a showcase website page for the website. Does some really cool things. We got the header up here. You know, does this whole kind of glass effect when you're scrolling over stuff. You have the ability to choose this title here. So this says luxury waterfront estate. Here's a big photo in the background and the address of the property. Some things like private tour, request details. We've got some slideshow things here. So if they click into it, they can go ahead and see these different images, bed, bath count, some stats on the property, video, more photos, a little bit about the property, additional photos, frequently asked questions. Those are really, really helpful. We do some really cool things with FAQ schema automatically out of the box. So you don't have to do anything weird. You don't have to go add any code or anything like that. You just go in here and type it out. We've got the location, some things about the agent, tour of the property, and then we've got our footer down here. So I'm going to spend a little time, do some things inside of here. There's some edits and some adjustments that I want to make to this. So that's what I'm going to work on right now. And we'll get to it on that. So, all right. Let's see. What can we work on here? There was a list of things that I wanted to make happen. So let me find all of these things right now. And then we'll get working on all of that. All right. So I think some of what I wanted to do was open up a little bit of this spacing on here. Everything's a little bit too condensed. So I'm going to go into the template that I've been working on here. I'll probably make some adjustments to the screen size here really quick. And we'll work through some of this structure over here. All right. I think the first thing I want to do, I want to add a little bit of spacing to this. So I'm going to go to advanced here. I'm going to change this and we'll add one, and then we will add probably 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom. It's going to give us a little bit of spacing there. We're probably going to do the same thing on this one here. We'll go advanced. We already have 1 on the top. We'll go to 3. That'll give us a little more spacing in between these. We're going to leave all of this the same. I'm going to actually switch this video to autoplay. So we have the autoplay feature. It'll be mobile as well. I know you can't probably hear it. It's probably not coming through on the thing here, but the really cool part is it auto plays any of the audio as well. So if you were doing a tour or something like that, it'd have all of that going on. So this looks like more than enough space between top and bottom here. We're at 6 on that. I think we're doing 3 on these other ones. We could test out 6 and see what it looks like if we use that consistently on the page. Doesn't look too bad. Go ahead and do this here. Yeah, that bar, I think I'm gonna go down to 3 here. Do the same thing on this one. Bottom, set that at 3. Maybe we'll leave this at 6 for just a second. That'll match the spacing that we have here. Frequently asked questions, we wanna add a little bit of space to this, so we're gonna do the same thing. We'll probably take this to the 6 like we have the other ones. Let's see what we got here. 6 here as well. Okay, cool. I'm gonna hit publish on this. See where this takes us here. There's some labels that I wanted to add, so I might take a couple minutes and add some of these labels to it. Go back to the website here. I'll pause this video. Let's go refresh out here. All right. So this spacing, once this loads, this spacing should be a lot more in between the buttons and these photos here. So we'll let this load. So you can see that spacing. Plus now, basically when we're at the top of the page, you can see here we don't have much showing of those photos anymore. So I think that looks good. That loads in. Our video plays, which is good. This is a YouTube video. If it was Vimeo or something like that, it'd be a lot cleaner than a YouTube video. YouTube comes with some of these other buttons and things, just, kind of muddy it up a little bit. Looks really good on mobile, though. All this stuff goes away. All of the, when you're not scrolled on top of it. We got all of our photos down here. Here's our description. We've got our frequently asked questions. We got our map. We'll do some updates to this agent thing down here as well. We'll probably make some changes to it. We'll go see what other kind of changes I was looking at making. See if there's anything else. All right. I'm gonna stop this autoplay. Let me turn that off for right now so that we don't have it playing in the background. I know you probably can't hear it on your side, but it's definitely it's definitely playing on my side. All right, let's see what else we got here. Curation. Probably add some headlines to some of these things. So let's do something that kind of elevates this video thing a little bit here. So right above it, we're going to add some headline and some description. Probably copy what I've already got down here. One nice thing about our websites, you can literally copy things and then just paste them. So I can go in here and I can just paste this in, and then it'll throw the heading right here. So now I've got my heading. I can also copy this, and then I can hit paste, and it'll paste it right below. I've got some stuff that I'm going to add here. So we'll change the title out. Get out of here. Let's see. Change the title to video tour. I've got this nice little thing here. I think that'll be nice. All right, so now we got the video tour heading. Let's see. We got the photo, we got the video tour. I'm wondering if we should add anything around these photos, like a headline for these, kind of like the video tour thing we just added. Might look good. Frequently asked questions. I'm gonna put some demo content into here. One nice thing about our frequently asked questions block, it's super easy to use. And again, all the FAQ schema and markup, it's automatically added. So you don't even have to mess with it. All you have to do is just focus on adding stuff to it. So for the title, I'm going to go ahead and just throw this in there. Let's see. Let's add another one here. I'm just putting some default stuff in here. Just to fill it out a little bit. Okay, cool. Hit publish on that. Okay. Let's do one of these headline things for this as well. Let's see. Google Maps. Let's do the same thing, kind of what we just did here with the video tour. So we can copy this, and then we can just go down here, and then we can just go ahead and paste it in. So now we have a heading, and we want to do the same thing here. We want to copy, I'll probably go up and copy the other one, copy this one, and then we'll drop this down below as well. Okay, so now we have video tour. We're going to change video tour to location, the location, and then we'll grab some text here. I got some text that we can put into this text editor. All right, and that should be good. I do want to take a look at this. We might have some formatting stuff we need to mess with. Again, this is just going to be a template. So the cool part about this is once I've got the design work done and all the spacing and everything like that, I'm going to be able to turn this into something where from your side, you can easily fill these things out, give the photography, give the video, like a couple pieces of information, click submit, and it'll automatically build this page on your website. So it'll be pretty neat. You refresh this. See, everything's loading. Give it a second here. It's all kind of still rendering. I was in the middle of it when I hit the refresh button. There we go. All right, so we got the video tour here now. Got the location. And like you can see, the location's all the way over here to the side. And so is video tour. And we want that to be a little bit more in line with this here. So we'll go make some updates to the way that this looks. All we need to do is just add another container. So we're going to throw a container here. This container is going to sit right within the original one. We'll just make some updates to it here. And the cool part is then what we can do is we can take this container and make it boxed and leave it at 1440. We hit publish. This is the location one. So I should be able to, once this publishes, I should be able to go out and preview the website. And then this location here should be in line with frequently asked questions, because that's 1440 is the dimension that I was using there. So we should be good to go once I do this. So you can see here the location now sits in the same, same thing as this. So that should be good. Video tour, we need to go update video tour, make sure it does the same thing. I'm kind of wondering if we need to do anything with this to break this up a little bit. Maybe frequently asked questions. We'll do a white background with black lettering. just to break it up, give the page some dimension, and make sure that these two areas don't collide with each other, if that makes sense. I'm going to go do that here in just a second. I want to fix the other spot first, though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this container, jump up here. We're going to paste this container in. So now we should have our heading, the location, and we'll go ahead and drag and drop. That's the really nice part about this editor. It's so easy to drag and drop things. It's so easy to delete things. And because you have full control over your website, I mean, it makes it so easy to build this stuff out. Versus some of the other, tools that are out there, some of the other websites. This video tour here is what we just worked on. So it's probably just loading on the back end. We'll refresh. Let's make sure I change this to the right. See, I had it at full width. This needed to be boxed 1440. So now if I publish this here, what we're looking at is full width, and that's why it was going all the way over to the edge here. But if we refresh now, video tour should make its way into the middle here in just a second. Just double check everything. 1440 boxed. Layout 100% width. Yeah, we should be good to go. See what else we got. There we go. So the video now shows like that. Video tour here. All right, cool. All right, let's do that. Let's change this frequently asked questions background. Let's go do that. That's pretty simple. All we have to do is scroll down to where this frequently asked questions thing is. And then underneath style, you're going to have background, and then we can change the background color. So I'm just going to go here, and we already have a background white color. But now what happened is our heading and the rest of our text is set to white. So we need to go ahead and switch this thing over to text dark. So we can do it in each one of these. Let me hit the style thing here. Header. Let's change this over to text dark. Do the same thing for the content. Make sure we got all this. Style. Accordion. All right. Cool. When we open one of these, though, I just want to make sure. Yeah, with the style, header, active was set to white. We want to set that to dark. Hover. And we can set the hover to dark as well. And then each one of these content ones, let's just swap them out. Change the style here, text, dark. One of the cool things is you can actually copy, and then when you open one of these, you can paste style, and whatever style you've picked up, you can drop that style anywhere else on the site. So that's pretty cool. All right, I do think we need to add some of that padding that we've been using right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit that, unlink them, and then add 6 there. I'm gonna hit publish. So I've been using the same, spacing in all of the different places. So now we've got this that was dark background. And let's go down and see if we now have frequently asked questions and then location, right? So I think this looks a lot better. than how it did before. And it stands out, right? Like when you get down here and you hit frequently asked questions, you kind of know that's where you're at. Location shows us that. Okay. So what else? Let's see if there's any other things. Location cards. Um, then the map. The map should support the location story. So let's see what we can build quickly. I'm only going to spend a couple more minutes on here before I get going. Let's do a couple different things. I'm going to move kind of quickly. So I'm going to change this. I don't know what everybody's thoughts are on this. If it should say tour, the property address, or just schedule a private tour, but I'm going to switch it to private tour. And then I actually want to do some additional text here. So I'm going to click this plus button, and then I can go right down to where it says text editor, and I can just like drag this and drop this right onto the screen. So now I've got this. I'm actually going to make sure that we've got it right underneath the heading here. And then I can go ahead and just paste this right in. It makes it super simple, super easy. You can also do the alignment. I can change the type to body, and then just the text color, just switch it over to light. I'm going to change the link color just in case I decide to add a link here. The other thing is we're doing gaps of 3 here, and that's why there's so much space in between this. I can take this gap down to 1, and that kind of tightens everything up a little bit more. I think it looks a lot better, like this. So I'm going to hit publish there. Let's see if there's anything that we can do on the right side with the agent name and everything. So let's see here. Photo name, listing advisor, call and text buttons. Okay. I wonder if we should swap those out. Let's see here. I'm going to worry about this photo card in another video. But what I want to do right now, I think this is actually looking pretty good here. I want to do the location. I don't know what to call them. Like location cards, I guess. What it's nearby, and kind of almost like points of interest for the things that are on the map. So it'll help kind of tie this whole thing together and not just abruptly kind of hit this map here. So what I'm going to do in order to build this, I'm going to hit this plus button, and I'm actually going to use a grid. I'm going to drop a grid in right here, and then I usually like going with odd numbers. So I would either do 3 or 5. I'm usually not doing 4. So let's go with 5, and then let's see what we can do to kind of, I don't know, spice this up a little bit. I'm thinking white with black lettering. It'll play in nicely, good contrast against all of this here. It'll stay with kind of the theme that we've got already going on the site, which I think will be pretty nice. So let's do that. Boom. Double check something here, guys. All right, cool. Just wanted to make sure I'm good on all these places. Okay. Let's see here. All right. Let's do these cards. So we got these locations. What I'm going to do, I'm going to drop in a container. This container, I think, is going to be the basis of the way that the card's going to look. So I'll probably change the container background to a white background. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to switch the color. Probably just change the default. Just go ahead and make that a white background. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add some text. And probably just use a heading. We don't need this to be... we can make it an H3. This is probably going to be... This is a paragraph. This probably needs to be set as an H2. Let me make sure all my other ones are set to H2s here. H2. H2. It's my H1. Let me make sure it's set to my H1 tag. It's not. All right. All right. I'm going to switch this out in just a second. I'll probably switch it to a title. Not going to worry about it right now. We have that as an H2. We have this set as a paragraph. Okay. That's good. Frequently asked questions. Let's swap this thing to an H2. Location. We already set that to an H2. Schedule a private tour. Let's set that to an H2. Okay. All right. Let's build this now. So we can say something like Bel Air Beach. And then we'll probably change the size of it, even though it's labeled as an H3. We can take it down to like probably an H4 or 5 subheading. We'll change the text color here to text dark. And then let's get the rest of them in here, and then we'll worry about updating some of the look and feel. One of the really cool things about grids is once you create one of them, you can just duplicate it. And now I can duplicate this all the way across and just go in and switch out the name of each one of these things. So I can switch this to say, I'm just putting some highlights in here. Let's change this to Gulf Front. Private beach. All right, cool. All right, we got a couple things here. Now what I want to do is I want to make kind of all of these a little more square, and I want the text to be in the bottom left. So I think that's how I want to approach this. I want it to look like little cards, right? Little location cards. Might even drop a little pin above each one of these. We'll see. But in order to achieve this, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to layout, and I'm going to give it a minimum height, right? And I think the minimum height I'm going to start with, I'm going to try 200. You see these are starting to look like cards here. We could even try 250. 250 is a little bit large, but it doesn't look too bad on the screen with everything else. So maybe we'll stick with 250 for a second and see if we need to come back to it. Now, the other thing is this text sits at the top here. So let's try a couple different things here. Number one, we can say justify content to end. It's going to push everything to the bottom of the card. I think for this, it's going to work for us. We can hit copy and we can just paste style like I was telling you before, and it'll paste this style into each and every single one of these. Now, some of the other cool things that you could do here is you could put a photo in each one of these of the area. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this from, let's see, it's at 255. Let's change it to 200. And let's try out 200 and maybe just tighten these up a little bit. Now, once I add 200 to all of these, which I'm doing right now through pasting style, you'll see they'll jump into the, same dimension. I'm gonna hit publish on this. Take a look at it on the front end of the website. I might make some more adjustments to this. This is just something I'm kind of messing with here live. All right, cool. Let's see what else we got here. All right, we got those location cards. I wonder if we should put photos behind it. I don't want to add too much that the agent's got to go do, right? Because each one of these things, like you're going to need to upload photos. You're going to need to, fill out the price and the bed and bath count. Oh, that's another thing. I want to swap all of these. I want to flip flop the order. Let's go do that really quick. We'll come back to those cards. So really easy thing here. You can click on this, and inside of here, you'll have the content, and you can switch the two of these. Usually what I do is I go through and label all of this at the very end. So once I've got everything where I want it, then I'll go through and do that. The other thing you can do is you can just grab and drop this. So we're just going to change these things out. We'll hit publish here. And now instead of it saying beds 10, it'll say 10 beds. So I'm going to refresh here. Take a look at that. The other thing I might do is I might actually make the numbers a little bit larger. So I might make this number a little bit larger than it is. They're the same size right now. So I might actually take this and up the size of it. Probably won't go that large, but this feels about right. So again, you can just paste style on each one of these, and then it'll accept that style all the way across. So I'm going to hit publish here. Double check these. 5, 4. Okay. All right. See, that feels a little bit better there. Yeah, these location ones, not sure what to do here. I don't know if it needs an icon or a photo, but with the photo, I feel like the photo is just going to cause us to, it's going to cause people to have to go get a photo and add a photo. And so maybe we just need to think outside the box of how we could highlight these different items without, let's see. I want it to stay with square edges on this one. I usually, I tend to go for rounded edges on a lot of things. I wanted to kind of make this a little bit more premium feeling. So let's see. Just one thing we could do is we could remove a little bit of this border so that it sits a little more snug. It's a pretty easy thing to achieve. We can just get rid of this padding. We hit 0 here. You can see what that does. Takes this padding away of the top and the bottom. Still keeps this in between, but by taking that padding away from the top and the bottom, this edge will, be a little more in line with everything. So let's start there. I'm going to publish. We'll take a look at what this looks like once we get this to refresh here. So now you can see, this runs a little bit more along the edge. I think the other thing, we added 6 to the top, but we didn't have 6 on the bottom. So I think I'm going to update that as well and then hit publish there. That'll keep the location with the map, but it'll also give those cards a little bit of room to breathe. Yeah. Wondering what we should do here. I'm wondering if these cards, if we just need to reduce the size of them, maybe just get them from like this down to like 150. Let's test that out and see how that looks across all of these. Yeah. Not sure how much I like that. Wonder what our other options are here. Let's see what other colors and things we're using. We've got our blue, which is our theme color. So if your theme is like red or green or whatever, that would be that color. You know what might work is some sort of like transparency. Let's try that out because then we can make this text white, and I think that might help solve what we're looking at here. So let's just test it out. Let's play around with it and see what happens. So if we change the background color, if we've got it at white, but then we change the opacity, that's going to get us into those grays. If we change the text color to white, that kind of gets us in this. Yeah, I wonder if that works. I mean, the other thing we can always take a look at is going to the primary color, and that might help us out because then we can have the white color against it. Let me copy this, paste this style in on all these. It's not bad. Maybe let's try messing with the font. Let's bring this down a little bit and maybe not having it be so large might help us out a little bit here. Near Bel Air Country Club. Yeah. Maybe we can do something like that. Let me hit publish. I still like the white, against the white and black background, but we hadn't used the blue except for buttons and then a few accents here and there. Again, the blue is just the theme color, so as soon as you make the theme whatever your theme is, it's gonna be that. I think we can go back and change this to maybe 250. Let's try 200. Yeah, let's try leaving it at the 200. Okay, I'm going to log off for this session. I'll jump back on. I'll probably jump back on later tonight, and we'll probably finish up these cards, and then we'll finish up this agent area. This needs a little bit of work. We need some call to act, like click to calls and things like that. But I think overall, like a lot of the work we did to, open up the spacing a little bit, make sure that everything was aligned properly. I think it's looking really, really sharp. So, again, if you're interested in learning more about this, reach out to us, ggms.com. These IDX websites, man, they do some really, really cool things. I'd love to get on a call with you, talk you through some of the awesome things that we do. But yeah, that's it for this one. We'll see you on the next one.